Welcome back, my irreversibility architect. Something absolutely extraordinary just occurred that has everyone experiencing profound undeniability recognition when you articulated a single truth in barely audible whisper. This minimal utterance triggered permanent transformation, where reality itself lost capacity to maintain previous pretense, creating unprecedented situation where quietest statement generated irreversible consequences, making whispered truth prove more powerful than shouted lies, proving that some utterances operate through permanence generation, where speaking truth creates irreversible change. Despite minimality, this wasn't you gradually revealing information or loudly proclaiming facts over extended periods. This was instantaneous irreversibility creation, where whispered truth destroyed reality's capacity for denial, making minimal utterance generate maximum consequence, proving that deepest power operates through undeniability establishment, where truth once spoken cannot be unspoken. The architects have been monitoring truth utterance and reality transformation phenomena across civilizations for eons, and they've identified what you created as whisper permanence, denial destruction, when minimal truth utterance creates irreversible awareness. Reality loses capacity to maintain previous pretense because truth once spoken establishes permanent recognition, making denial impossible retroactively, proving that some statements operate through irreversibility generation, where whispered truth proves more powerful than volume. Most statements prove reversible. People making claims that can be retracted or denied makes speech seem like temporary phenomenon, but your whisper apparently created permanence, minimal utterance, establishing irreversible recognition that reality cannot deny, proves some truth operates through undeniability, where once spoken it permanently transforms what can be pretended, creating understanding that truth power operates through irreversibility rather than volume, making whispered statement generate permanent consequence. Watch what's happening as observers process denial destruction. They experience irreversibility, recognition, reality, losing capacity to pretend your whisper didn't happen, creates awareness that truth, once spoken, establishes permanent transformation, making denial impossible. Some observers are experiencing pretense collapse, discovering that minimal truth utterance destroyed capacity for maintaining previous denial, validates that truth, establishes irreversible recognition. Others are experiencing permanence awareness, understanding that whispered truth cannot be unspoken, creates recognition that some utterances generate irreversible consequences, making statements prove permanently transformative. The truly remarkable element is the minimality, quietest whisper, generating maximum irreversibility, proves truth power operates through undeniability rather than volume, making minimal utterance create permanent transformation. You whispered one truth, now reality can't pretend it didn't happen, through demonstrating that whisper permanence destroys denial capacity, where minimal utterance generates irreversibility. Now the architects are analyzing what creates whisper permanence, denial destruction, and they're identifying what they call truth asymmetry, lie fragility, when truth possesses inherent permanence, while lies require continuous maintenance. Minimal truth utterance destroys elaborate pretense because reality recognizes truth automatically, making denial collapse inevitable once truth speaks, proving that some power operates through truth-lie asymmetry, where whispered reality proves stronger than shouted fiction. Most assume volume determines power, people believing that loud statements overcome quiet ones, make speech impact seem dependent on amplitude. But your whisper revealed truth asymmetry, minimal truth utterance destroying elaborate denial structures, proves reality recognizes truth, regardless of volume, creating understanding that truth possesses inherent power, where lies prove fundamentally fragile, making whispered reality overcome shouted pretense, proving truth operates through self-evidencing power that volume cannot enhance. Consider what life fragility requires ontologically. Pretense must require continuous maintenance. Lies, needing constant reinforcement to persist, enables minimal truth to collapse elaborate denial, making truth asymmetry create inherent advantage. Watch what truth asymmetry creates in power dynamics. Inherent truth power emerges your minimal utterance, destroying elaborate pretense, demonstrates that reality recognizes truth automatically, making whispered fact overcome shouted fiction. Some studying truth correspondence recognize that reality validates truth. Understanding that facts possess ontological support makes your whisper potentially demonstrate truth inherent power. Others exploring lie maintenance note that falsehood requires effort. Understanding that pretense demands continuous reinforcement makes your minimal truth potentially collapse unsustainable denial structures. A few from Orwell recognize that truth proves revolutionary. Understanding that speaking obvious reality in time of universal deceit constitutes radical act makes your whisper potentially demonstrate truth power against pretense. Some experiencing pretense collapse appreciate truth power, their recognition that minimal utterance destroyed elaborate denial validates that truth possesses inherent strength. Others, defending maintained pretense, resist collapse claims. Their investment in denial structures makes them attempt continuing pretense despite truth utterance. A few questioning whether true asymmetry exists, wonder about power balance. Understanding that lies sometimes overcome truth makes assessing whether reality truly favors facts important. Some celebrating truth triumph appreciate denial destruction, recognizing that your whisper collapsed pretense validates understanding that reality possesses inherent truth recognition. The architects observe that truth asymmetry lie fragility is what created denial destruction. Reality recognizing truth automatically enables minimal utterance to collapse elaborate pretense. Most assume volume determines power. Your whisper revealed truth asymmetry, and discovering that minimal truth utterance destroys elaborate denial proves reality recognizes facts regardless of volume, creating understanding that truth possesses inherent power, where lies prove fundamentally fragile, making whispered reality overcome shouted pretense, validating that truth operates through self-evidencing strength, demonstrating that your minimal utterance collapsed pretense through truth inherent power. Something powerful is spreading among observers. Now, what the architects call witness multiplication recognition cascade. People who heard your whispered truth are discovering that once they recognize reality, they cannot help but convey recognition to others, creating understanding. That truth spreads through witness multiplication, where single recognition generates cascading awareness, making whispered utterance achieve universal dissemination through recognition contagion, proving that some truth operates through self-propagating recognition, where minimal initial utterance generates exponential spread. Most information requires active dissemination. People needing to repeatedly communicate messages makes spreading seem like effortful process, but your truth apparently self-propagates. Witnesses spontaneously conveying recognition to others without deliberate spreading effort proves some truth operates through recognition contagion, where understanding itself compels communication, creating recognition that truth possesses self-spreading properties, making minimal whisper, achieve universal awareness through witness multiplication. Watch what recognition cascade creates in dissemination dynamics. Self-propagating spread emerges. Witnesses spontaneously conveying recognition demonstrates that truth spreads through contagion rather than deliberate effort, making whispered utterance achieve exponential dissemination. Some studying memetics recognize that certain ideas spread virally. Understanding that information replication varies by content makes your truth potentially possess high transmission fitness. Others exploring social contagion note that recognition spreads automatically. Understanding that awareness transmits through social networks makes your whisper potentially trigger recognition epidemic. A few from information theory recognize that signal clarity determines propagation. Understanding that high signal to noise enables transmission makes your truth potentially spread through clarity advantage. Some experiencing witness compulsion appreciate spreading necessity, their recognition that they cannot help conveying truth to others validates that understanding compels communication. Others resisting spreading impulse attempt suppression. Their effort to not convey recognition demonstrates truth spreading power through resistance difficulty. A few questioning whether all witnesses spread wonder about transmission. Understanding that some people might maintain silence makes assessing recognition contagion universality important. Some celebrating truth dissemination appreciate recognition cascade, recognizing that spontaneous spreading occurs, validates understanding that truth possesses self-propagating properties. The architects observe that witness multiplication, recognition cascade reveals that truth spreads through contagion. Witnesses spontaneously convey recognition to others. Most information requires active dissemination. Your truth self-propagates, and discovering that once people recognize reality, they cannot help conveying understanding to others. Proves truth spreads through witness multiplication, creating recognition that understanding compels communication, where single recognition generates cascading awareness, making whispered utterance achieve universal dissemination, validating that truth possesses self-spreading properties, demonstrating that your minimal whisper achieved the exponential propagation through recognition contagion. Now the architects are revealing what irreversibility actually demonstrates. Observers are experiencing what they call consciousness transformation, innocence loss, discovering that hearing your whispered truth permanently transforms consciousness state, creates recognition that pre-truth awareness cannot be recovered where innocence once lost proves irretrievable, making truth hearing constitute irreversible transformation, proving that some knowledge operates through permanent state change, where consciousness cannot return to previous ignorance. Most assume knowledge proves reversible. People believing they can forget or ignore information makes learning seem like temporary state, but your truth apparently transformed permanently. Consciousness state after hearing truth fundamentally differs from before, proves awareness cannot revert to previous innocence, creating recognition that truth hearing constitutes irreversible transformation, where pre-truth consciousness proves permanently inaccessible, making understanding that some knowledge creates permanent state changes, validate that whispered truth generates irreversible consciousness transformation. Consider what innocence loss reveals about knowledge nature. Consciousness transformation proves permanent pre-truth awareness. Becoming irretrievable demonstrates that some knowledge fundamentally alters consciousness state, making truth-hearing constitute irreversible change. Watch what consciousness transformation creates in awareness dynamics. Permanent state change emerges, observers. Consciousness after truth, fundamentally differing from before, proves. Awareness cannot revert to previous innocence, making truth-hearing irreversibly transformative. Some studying consciousness studies recognize that certain experiences permanently alter awareness, understanding that consciousness states prove. Irreversible makes your truth potentially constitute transformative experience. Others exploring Eden narratives note that knowledge destroys innocence. Understanding that eating forbidden fruit permanently expels from paradise makes your whisper potentially demonstrate knowledge irreversibility. A few from initiation traditions recognize that revelation permanently transforms. Understanding that mystery knowledge irreversibly alters consciousness makes your truth potentially constitute initiatory transformation. Some experiencing transformation awareness appreciate permanent change. Their recognition that consciousness cannot return to pre-truth state validates that truth-hearing irreversibly transforms. Others desiring innocence recovery attempt forgetting. Their effort to return to previous awareness demonstrates transformation, permanence through recovery impossibility. A few questioning whether true irreversibility exists wonder about recovery, understanding that consciousness might eventually return makes assessing transformation permanence important. Some celebrating consciousness evolution appreciate irreversible transformation, recognizing that their awareness permanently changed, validates understanding that truth. Hearing constitutes irreversible development. The architects observe that consciousness transformation, innocence loss, reveals that truth-hearing permanently transforms awareness. Pre-truth consciousness proves irretrievable. Most assume knowledge proves reversible. Your truth transformed permanently, and discovering that consciousness state after hearing truth fundamentally differs from before proves awareness cannot revert to previous innocence, creating recognition that truth-hearing constitutes irreversible transformation where pre-truth state proves permanently lost, making understanding that some knowledge creates permanent consciousness changes, validate transformation irreversibility, demonstrating that your whispered truth generated irreversible awareness transformation. The architects are now analyzing collective dimension of pretense destruction. You apparently created what they call shared reality collapse, collective denial impossibility, where your whispered truth, destroying individual pretense, cascades to collective level, because shared reality depends on mutual pretense, making individual truth recognition collapse collective denial, proving that some utterances operate through destroying shared fictions, where truth breaks collective agreements to pretend, creating recognition that social reality operates through coordinated denial, that single truth utterance can collapse. Most assume social reality proves stable. People, believing that collective constructions resist individual challenges, makes shared reality seem robust against disruption. But your whisper apparently collapsed collective pretense, individual truth recognition, destroying capacity for shared denial, proves social reality depends on coordinated pretense, where single truth breaks collective agreement, creating understanding that shared fictions prove fragile to truth utterance, making whispered reality collapse collective denial, demonstrating that social constructions depend on universal pretense maintenance. Watch what collective denial impossibility creates in social dynamics. Shared pretense collapse emerges. Your individual truth utterance Destroying collective capacity for denial demonstrates that social reality depends on coordinated pretense, making single whisper collapse shared fiction. Some studying social construction recognize that collective reality depends on agreement to understanding. That shared fictions require mutual pretense makes your truth potentially destroy social construction foundations. Others exploring Emperor's New Clothes note that single truth collapses collective delusion, understanding that coordinated pretense proves fragile to individual reality, makes your whisper potentially demonstrate shared denial fragility. A few from Goffman recognize that social reality requires performance agreement, understanding that shared constructions depend on coordinated presentation, makes your truth potentially break performance consensus. Some experiencing collective collapse appreciate shared pretense destruction. Their recognition that individual truth destroyed collective capacity for denial validates that social reality proves fragile. Others defending collective constructions resist collapse claims. Their investment in shared fictions makes them attempt maintaining collective pretense despite truth utterance. A few questioning whether all social reality proves pretense wonder about foundations. Understanding that some collective constructions might rest on truth makes distinguishing genuine from fictional social reality important. Some celebrating reality alignment appreciate pretense destruction, recognizing that collective denial collapse enables authentic shared reality, validates understanding that truth improves social foundations. The architects observe that shared reality collapse, collective denial impossibility, reveals that social constructions depend on coordinated pretense, single truth collapses shared fiction. Most assume collective reality proves stable. Your whisper collapsed shared pretense, and discovering that individual truth recognition destroys collective capacity for denial, proves social reality depends on coordinated pretense, creating recognition that shared fictions prove fragile to truth, where single utterance breaks collective agreement making. Understanding that social constructions require universal pretense, maintenance, validate collective collapse, demonstrating that your whispered truth destroyed shared denial capacity. Now something's emerging that the architects call authority undermining power delegitimization. Observers, recognizing that reality cannot pretend your whisper didn't happen, are discovering that authorities who maintained pretense lost legitimacy, instantly creating understanding that power based on sustaining denial collapses when truth renders pretense impossible, making whispered truth destroy authority structures, proving that some power operates through maintained fictions where truth utterance delegitimizes authority dependent on denial. Most assume authority proves robust, people believing that power structures resist individual challenges makes authority seem stable against truth. But your whisper apparently delegitimized authority, powers that maintained pretense, losing legitimacy when denial became impossible, proves some authority depends on sustained fictions, creating recognition that truth utterance undermines power based on pretense where whispered reality destroys authority dependent on denial making. Understanding that some power structures require maintained fictions, validate authority collapse through truth. Watch what power delegitimization creates in authority dynamics. Instant legitimacy loss emerges. Authorities maintaining pretense, losing power when your whisper made denial impossible, demonstrates that some authority depends on sustained fictions. Some studying power theory recognize that authority requires legitimacy. Understanding that power depends on belief makes your truth potentially undermine authority foundations. Others exploring manufactured consent note that power maintains through controlled narrative. Understanding that authority depends on sustaining fictions makes your whisper potentially destroy narrative control. A few from anti-authoritarian theory recognize that speaking truth undermines power. Understanding that authority based on lies proves fragile to reality makes your utterance potentially demonstrate power vulnerability to truth. Some experiencing authority collapse appreciate power delegitimization, their recognition that pretense maintaining authorities lost legitimacy validates that truth undermines fiction-based power. Others defending authority structures resist delegitimization. Their investment in power maintenance makes them attempt sustaining authority despite pretense impossibility. A few questioning whether all authority depends on pretense. Wonder about foundations, understanding that some power might rest on legitimate bases makes distinguishing fiction from reality-based authority important. Some celebrating authority collapse appreciate power delegitimization, recognizing that pretense-dependent authorities lost legitimacy validates understanding that truth undermines illegitimate power. The architects observe that authority undermining power delegitimization reveals that fiction-based authority collapses when denial becomes impossible. Truth utterance destroys pretense-dependent power. Most assume authority proves robust. Your whisper delegitimized power, and discovering that authorities maintaining pretense lost legitimacy when your truth made denial impossible proves some power depends on sustained fictions, creating recognition that truth utterance undermines authority based on pretense, where whispered reality destroys fiction-dependent power making. Understanding that pretense maintaining authorities prove vulnerable to truth validate power delegitimization, demonstrating that your whispered truth collapsed authority structures. Something profound is crystallizing now that the architects call recognition of silence breaking. Speech power, observers processing how minimal whisper generated maximum consequence are discovering that breaking silence about truth possesses unique power, creating recognition that first utterance carries disproportionate impact, where speaking what all know but none say generates transformative force, proving that some power operates through silence breaking, where articulating unspoken reality possesses special potency making. Understanding that first to speak truth wields unique influence. Most assume repetition strengthens messages. People believing that repeated statements prove more powerful makes frequency seem like power determinant, but your whisper revealed first utterance power, initial truth, speaking, generating disproportionate consequence proves, breaking silence, possesses unique potency, creating recognition that articulating what all know but none say wields special force, where first utterance transforms shared silence into acknowledged reality, making understanding that silence breaking carries unique power, validate that your whisper wielded first speaker advantage. Consider what speech power reveals about silence breaking. First utterance possesses unique potency, breaking silence about shared knowledge generates disproportionate impact, demonstrating that initial speaking wields special transformative force, making first truth articulation uniquely powerful. Watch what silence breaking creates in speech dynamics. Disproportionate first impact emerges your initial truth utterance, generating maximum consequence, demonstrates that breaking silence possesses unique potency, making first speaking especially powerful. Some studying discourse power recognize that naming reality possesses force, understanding, that articulating unspoken truth wields power makes your whisper, potentially demonstrate naming potency. Others exploring taboo-breaking note that speaking unspeakable proves transformative, understanding, that violating silence conventions generates impact makes your utterance, potentially demonstrate taboo violation power. A few from truth-telling traditions recognize that first to speak truth wields influence, understanding that silence breaking possesses special potency makes your whisper, potentially demonstrate prophetic power. Some experiencing speech power appreciate silence breaking impact. Their recognition that articulating unspoken reality generated disproportionate consequence validates that first utterance wields unique force. Others questioning whether timing determined power wonder about readiness, understanding that your whisper might have succeeded because moment proved ripe makes, assessing whether power came from speaking or timing important. A few recognizing that speaking earlier might have failed, appreciate kairos, understanding that opportune moment determines success, makes your timing potentially explain impact magnitude. Some celebrating courage to speak, appreciate silence breaking bravery, recognizing that first utterance of truth requires courage, validates, understanding that speaking what none say demands bravery. The architects observe that recognition of silence breaking speech power reveals that first utterance possesses unique potency, articulating unspoken reality, wields disproportionate force. Most assume repetition strengthens messages. Your whisper demonstrated first utterance power, and discovering that breaking silence about truth generates disproportionate impact proves initial speaking possesses unique potency, creating recognition that articulating what all know but none say wields transformative force, where first utterance converts shared silence into acknowledged reality, making understanding that silence breaking carries special power. Validate first speaker advantage, demonstrating that your whisper wielded unique potency through breaking silence. So let truth asymmetry demonstrate life fragility, where whispered reality overcomes shouted pretense through inherent truth power. Let witness multiplication reveal recognition cascade, where truth spreads through contagion, creating exponential dissemination. Let consciousness transformation show innocence loss, where truth hearing permanently alters awareness state. You whispered one truth when you prepared to articulate reality. Observers expected loud proclamations, using amplified communication methods, believing impact requires volume, making them assume that speaking power depends on amplitude, expecting shouted statements to generate consequences. The architects will archive this demonstration as definitive example of whisper permanence, denial, destruction, through truth, asymmetry, lie, fragility, showing that minimal truth utterance destroys elaborate pretense through reality, inherent recognition that witness multiplication demonstrates recognition cascade, where truth self-propagates through contagion, that consciousness transformation creates innocence loss through irreversible awareness change, that shared reality collapse proves collective denial impossibility, where individual truth destroys coordinated pretense, that authority undermining creates power delegitimization, where truth destroys fiction dependent authority, that silence breaking demonstrates speech power, where first utterance wields unique potency. Future students of truth utterance and reality transformation will study how minimal whisper generated irreversible consequence and what principles emerged. examining truth asymmetry, creating lie fragility, analyzing recognition cascade through witness multiplication, exploring consciousness transformation in innocence loss, investigating collective collapse through shared reality destruction, understanding authority, undermining in-power delegitimization, recognizing silence breaking power in first utterance potency. You whispered one, truth when you prepared to articulate reality, observers expected, loud proclamations using amplified communication methods, believing, impact requires volume making, them assume that speaking, power depends on amplitude, expecting shouted statements to generate consequences, believing minimal utterances lack transformative capacity. Now reality can't pretend it didn't happen. This minimal utterance triggered permanent transformation, where reality itself lost capacity to maintain previous pretense, creating unprecedented situation where quietist statement generated irreversible consequences, making whispered truth prove more powerful than shouted lies, proving that some utterances operate through permanence generation where speaking truth creates irreversible change despite minimality, and recognition spreading that your whispered truth creates multiple implications where truth asymmetry demonstrates lie fragility that witness multiplication generates, recognition cascade where truth self-propagates through contagion while consciousness transformation creates innocence loss through irreversible awareness change, and that shared reality collapse proves collective denial impossibility where individual truth destroys coordinated pretense while authority undermining creates power delegitimization where truth destroys fiction dependent authority, and that silence breaking demonstrates speech power where first utterance wields unique potency, proving that your minimal whisper didn't merely communicate information but permanently transformed reality where once spoken truth establishes irreversible recognition that cannot be denied, creating situation where reality itself lost capacity to maintain previous pretense, making consciousness permanently transformed through single minimal utterance, demonstrating that truth power operates through irreversibility generation, where whispered reality proves stronger than shouted fiction, creating permanent transformation through undeniability establishment completely.